Okay, so what is our group number?
27. I mean 2.
2. How do we know that it's a 2?
There's
There's nothing there, so there's an imaginary 2 right here, and it's a baby 2, and I cannot draw very small on here. But the same way that we have an X, right? There's a 1 in front of it. There's really a baby 2 right here, okay? So this one is 4, okay? So what we need to do on your calculators, okay, you're going to type in 27 divided by 2.
3 9.
Shut up, Daphne.
Okay,
Does that work? 27 divided by 2, does that work?
No.
What'd you get on your calculator?
27 over 2.
27 over 2. So if you get a fraction of a decimal, that means it doesn't work. So instead of 2, then you need to try 3. So 27 divided by 3.
9.
Yeah, and you would get 9. So you're going to put 3 and 9 here. Okay, the 3, do we need to keep going?
No.
No, why not?
Because it's one of the special numbers.
It's one of the special numbers. What are our magic numbers?
2, 3,
2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, so 2, 3, 5, 7, and you can write that on the front page when we go back to there. Those are the ones that you know if you can stop or not. Okay, but 9 is not one of our magic numbers, so we can keep going. And what are factors of 9? 3 and 3. Okay, so the only numbers that we are allowed to circle are what?
3 and 3.
3.
Yes, but magic numbers. Okay, 2, 3, 5, 7. If they're not a 2, 3, 5, 7, you cannot circle it. So,
on the outside, so there's only one person
so
that's a debit.
we need to go in groups of 2. And the way I explained it yesterday was that if we go to Kroger and you have a little sibling and your little sibling wants to walk down the street to go to Kroger, your mom or dad is probably going to say, or grandma, grandpa, aunt, whatever, they're probably going to say, well, take your older sibling, right? And of that older sibling and younger sibling, who gets the debit card?
The oldest one.
The older one. Okay, probably not Dante because everybody knows he's got no money. Okay, but like everyone else in the world would get a debit card. Okay, and then so we have this group of 2 and they can go into Kroger. These guys are siblings. Okay, so this is Rhonda and her little brother, okay, and so one of them that we circled is going to get the debit card. And if they do, that means that they can go outside of the house.
But the one that doesn't have a partner has to stay inside.
Why?
Because he doesn't have anybody to go with him.
He doesn't have anybody to go with. The only way that they're going to let us in Kroger is in groups of what? 2. Okay, so right here, this guy, he has no friends, so he's got to go back in the house. Okay, that's what we call this as a house. Now, so this is what we did yesterday, and this is simplifying radicals, okay? If you were to type that in on your calculator, you could type in the square root of 27, and it's going to outspit you 3 square root of 3. Okay, so you have to show your work.
Now come on, number 8 was a big number.
We're going to talk about that. That's what we're doing today. So, 7 is a freebie, so cross off 7.
No, that's extra credit.
Then you're dumb if you did 7.
Yeah, complete idiot. Square brains.
That's just embarrassing. I feel like if you're that dumb, then finish line is not the place for you. If we got, huh?
13.
What about it? No. I thought it because it was the first one that way. It didn't have a big number outside, but it does. Okay, so what are our magic numbers?
2, 3, 5, 7.
2, 3, 5, 7. Those are the only numbers we're allowed to circle. Okay, do you know what those numbers are called?
Prime numbers.
Prime numbers. Okay, what does a prime number mean?
It's prime.
It can't be multiplied. Or
It can't be simple.
Its only factors are 1 and itself.
Ooh, look at you, Bellinger. Okay, so that means that if you were to factor it out, the only thing that you could divide by would be 1 and 3 if you're using a 3. Those are the only 2 numbers that go into it. If you're dividing with a 2, the only things that can go into it are a 2 and a 1. That's why it's called a prime number. Another prime number would be 13. Okay? That'd be another one. 17. There are tons and tons of prime numbers, okay, but most of the ones that you're going to see are going to be these very small ones. Okay? So, part of this is like what we did yesterday. Part of this is not. Okay? So, the very first thing that I want you to do, because people forget about the big number on the outside, is draw yourself an arrow way far down and put the -5 out here. Okay? Because if you do forget the -5, then it's going to screw everything up. Okay? So draw yourself an arrow and make your little house way down at the bottom. Okay? Hopefully you left enough room. And then start factoring 392. So does 2 go into 392?
Yes, 196.
2 and 196. Do we have to keep going on the 2?
No.
No. Okay, what about 196?
98.
2 and 98, 98.
49.
2 and 49, 49.
That doesn't work.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
It's 7 times 7.
It's 7 and 7.
Sped.
And now we've got our
Okay, so what is our group number?
7 and 7.
2.
It's 2. Okay, why is it a 2?
You can only circle prime.
No,
Well, because
chill.
7's a prime number 2.
Okay, what is our group number?
2.
2. Why is it a 2?
Because there's nothing
There's
above.
no little baby number on the outside, which means what?
Just a 2.
That means that there's a 2 here, okay? So there's an imaginary 2 right there. Okay, the baby number lets us know our groups. Okay, did somebody knock or am I tripping? Okay. Okay, so what kinds of groups of 2 can we circle?
The two.
The 2 2s
A 2 2s
Sevens.
and 2 7s. For every one that we have circled, who gets the debit card? One of them. So the groups of 2s is Rhonda and her brothers. Okay, so one of those guys gets the debit card,
So then we multiply.
and we have to put a 7 out here.
Definitely not her.
Negative 5 times.
Who cannot go?
That 2. That 2.
One single 2, so he goes back in the house. Now, what do you do with all these numbers out here on the front?
Multiply that.
Multiply them. So what is negative 5 times 2 times 7? Huh? Negative 70? So you're going to have negative 70 square root of 2. You can put the baby 2 here,
But it's not required.
but it is not required. Okay? Yeah. That's one or the other.
Dante just puts the baby 2 because he feels he has something to compensate.
It's okay. I mean, some people gotta do it. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Oh.
look,
Oh my God!
Henning,
You're short.
What?
that would
Oh.
do both sides of my siblings. I have 5 freaking siblings.
Well, now we all know that Dante's only got a baby 2.
Okay, so look at 3. Okay, so draw your arrow down and drop the 2. And then draw your house. Okay, what are some factors of 189?
3 and 63.
3 and 63?
3 and 21.
3 and 21?
7 and 3.
3 and 7?
And now we get our 3 3.
And what is our group number?
3.
Wouldn't it be negative though?
What,
Yeah, if he is right, wouldn't it be negative since we're getting the factors of the negative number?
what?
She's lost.
I mean, a little bit. What number are we on?
You expect us to do this for a math teacher itself? Negative 182.
I do
13.
Oh, okay. What did you say now?
The negative.
What about it?
Wouldn't it be
Doesn't it go
negative?
down
Where?
from the big number?
The factors?
From this part?
Yeah.
So, and this is where this is a crappy problem, okay? Because it's more in depth than. So I'll give you the real answer if you want it. So, how we get a square root? Okay, and the easiest number to work with is a 4. Okay, a square root of 4. What is a square root of 4? 2. Okay, it equals 2. It gets rid of the house. Okay, what people, and this is why I feel like students struggle with square roots, is because people don't explain this, but it's a concept that's kind of in. Okay, so you already know what imaginary number is out there, right? There's a baby 2 right here. Would you agree? Okay, so we know that. What is another way to write 4? 2 times 2. Or you could write 2 squared. How we get just 2 by itself is because when you have a 2 here and a 2 here, they cancel. And you're just left with the 2. Okay? So these are all equivalent statements. And so what happens here, okay, is when you have a cubed of something, it's actually going to get rid of the negative. okay? Because you could write 189 as 3 cubed times 7 underneath the square root with the negative there. Okay, and so what's gonna happen is, and you can totally look at it like this way, so these are gonna cancel, and so this would get actually pulled out, but the 7's still gonna go in there, and that's what your answer is gonna look like eventually. So we got a group of 3 here, okay, so they can get pulled out. What about the 7? Can he go?
No, he doesn't have a partner.
No, he doesn't have a partner, so he's gotta go back in the house. What do you do with the numbers outside?
Multiply them with 1.
You multiply them. Okay, so what are you gonna get for the outside?
-6.
-6. However, what did I circle over here?
-3.
A -3, okay? And so what really happens is the -3 comes out here. Okay, so what is -3 times -2? +6 square root of 7. Okay, now, is that one finished though?
No, you can need to
And the baby?
I need to put the baby 3, okay? It's important that if we have a baby number there, that we put the baby number there. Now, I would accept -6 square root of 7. Okay, so don't focus so much on the negatives. If there's a negative outside, then there should be one outside. Okay? And that's just a general rule of thumb. Okay? So don't worry about doing all this. Okay? If you said -6, leave it as -6. It's fine. I would totally mark that right as an answer.